Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Board of Commissioners, City of Bowling Green, Kentucky, regular meeting, City Hall, 18 August 2026 at 4:30 p.m. We're going to begin tonight with the invocation and pledge allegiance, and I will turn it over to Commissioner Melinda Hill.
Thank you, Mayor. It's my honor tonight to introduce to our people in the audience and everyone watching on TV, Dr. Terry Daniels. He is president of Focal Point Consulting, and he is also pastor of Transformation Christian Center Church. And this is a man, I'm just thrilled he's in Bowling Green tonight and took time to lead us in our prayer. So, Dr. Daniels, if you'll stand, please.
You bow. Gracious God, we thank you this evening that you've given us one more opportunity to stand in the gap for thee. Pray, God, Lord, as we come in this moment, in this time, that you cover all of our activities. We thank you so much for Bowling Green. We thank you for every citizen. We thank you for our leadership. Pray, God, that every decision that we make will honor your name. We pray that, God, you would bless everyone in our city, in our community, God, that they would know that we are covered by thee. God, when we're weak, we pray for strength. When we're down, we ask you to lift us up. And we pray, God, Lord, that as each of us come into this place tonight, that everything that takes place will bless your holy and righteous name. For it's in the mighty and matchless name of Jesus we do pray. Amen.
Thank you. And face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Dr. Daniels. Thank you, Commissioner Hill. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a few guests. We'll get to that, but Mrs. Jackson, will you please provide a roll call?
Commissioner Hill.
Here.
Commissioner Perigin.
Here.
Commissioner Bailey.
Here.
Commissioner Beasley Brown.
Here.
Mayor Alcott.
Here. And our guests, I'm going to introduce first, we have from the Kentucky League of Cities, we have Gracie Kelly, and she's brought with her Emma Wilson and Mallory Baker, if I got that right. And then, of course, amongst us, there's some special guests that we're going to recognize that are basically celebrities in our community, leaders in our community, that we would not be able to assess successful as we are without them. Of course, we have Senator Mike Wilson, and then we have Representative Robert Duvall, we have Representative Kevin Jackson, and Representative Michael Meredith. And Gracie, we'll turn the floor over to you.
Thank you, Mayor. Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you.
Commissioners, thank you for having us. This night is actually really special. We have 4 of your all's legislators here in Bowling Green that we are happy to present the KLC Friend of Cities Awards. We also have Senator Max Wise and Senator Givens as well that are recipients of this award. And I was telling Ashley that this is the first time that JD and I can remember, or that we know of, that every single legislator from a larger city that has several legislators has received an award. So you all have an amazing Bowling Green delegation. They all received the award in the same year, and we are excited to be here tonight. Like the mayor said, I'm Gracie Kelly. I'm the Director of Government Affairs at KLC. With me, I have Emma Wilson, our Government Affairs Associate, and Mallory Baker, our Communications Manager. I also want to shout out a little bit some of our KLC board members. So you all are very well represented on the KLC Board of Directors. Ashley Jackson serves on the board. Commissioner Perigin serves on the board. Hillary serves on the board. And Miss Katie Schaller Ward also serves on the board. So you have 4 board members, great representation. Our legislative process is completely board-driven by the KLC Board of Directors. Every June, we set our legislative agenda for the following year. So we get out of session come April, and by June, we know what we're going to be working on the next year. And every year, we have several different priorities. We work with our legislators, bill sponsors, and get those across the finish line. And so we've been pretty picky on who we've given KLC awards to since I've become director, especially. I'm like, we're going to be objective. So in order to receive a KLC Friend of Cities Award, you either have to sponsor one of our KLC initiatives that our board sets, or you have to help carry it in the other chamber, or you have to be, a member of leadership that really helps us or a chairman that helps us get those initiatives passed. So this past legislative session, we had 15 KLC initiatives passed out of 192 bills, which that's a great record for our organization. So I'm extremely proud of our members and our city officials that helped us get those across the finish line. But tonight, like I said, we have 4 legislators in particular that we would like to honor. And if it's okay with you all, the commissioners and the mayor, I will introduce them and present the awards individually, let the legislators have a few minutes to speak, and then get individual pictures. Then at the very end, we'll do a group photo, if that's okay.
Great, Gracie.
All right, perfect. So the first one that I would like to present the award to is Representative Kevin Jackson. Mr. Jackson and I really bonded this past session. Commissioner Perigin came to our KLC Board of Directors with an idea regarding pedestrian safety, and we got that bill. I mean, honestly, I didn't think we were going to get it that first year because it was a bill that we were like, wow, this is going to be a big hurdle to kind of overcome, but we did so gracefully, and Representative Jackson was very, very diligent, and it's my understanding that you all might be considering that at the next commission meeting. So we are very excited to have House Bill 189 passed and very grateful for Representative Kevin Jackson. I'll let you speak and then we'll get a photo up.
Okay. Thank you, Gracie, and all the Kentucky League of Cities folks. It's an honor. Anytime you get one of these plaques, it's an honor because you feel like at least you've done something good and you've done something to help your community. And I want to thank Sue, Commissioner Perigin. This is 3 years in a row, I think, Sue's brought me a bill and we've got it across the finish line. So guys, anytime you need a bill, just talk to Sue and she'll come up with something for you to do. But 2 years ago, we got the mental health, got $20 million for the mental health drop-off facility. Last year, Sue, we got what? I can't remember. It was something for I think it was something for the sheriff maybe and some other things. But anyway, and then this year we got we're trying to help those in need as we see those in the community that are homeless and helpless instead of being on a street corner asking for donations. We're trying to find a way to help those folks that's a better means of survival than what they're going through now. So that's what the bill has to do with, and it was my honor. It was very difficult. We had some hurdles that we had to cross, but that's part of getting a bill through. It's not easy to get a bill through in Frankfort, and it shouldn't be because we have some crazy ideas up there sometimes. So I'm just honored to be here, and I'm honored to receive this from the Kentucky League of Cities. Thank you.
Representative Jackson, we have a special token of appreciation from our Board of Commissioners, and this is a special anniversary 250th coin to represent the 250th birthday of America, but it's a special birthday coin with some special icons that we'd like to present that to you. Thank you very much.
Next, we have Senator Mike Wilson. So Senator Wilson is a member of Senate leadership. You all are very lucky to have a member of Senate leadership. Actually, I guess 3 members of Senate leadership that represent Bowling Green. As you all hopefully know, that leadership really determines what bills get passed, what bills don't get passed, and this session in particular, we could not have had the success and kind of fended off some of the bills that we opposed without Senate leadership. So please, please, please show your appreciation for him. He also sponsored in the Senate, or helped carry, House Bill 189 that Representative Jackson carried regarding pedestrian safety as well. So thank you, Senator Wilson, if you'd like to say a couple remarks.
Thank you, Gracie, League of Cities, all of you being here. It's a privilege and an honor. You know, I've lived a lot of places in the military for 8.5 years, in the Marine Corps, and East Coast, West Coast, traveled all over the world. And I remember when I first moved here 33 years ago, and I was riding one day with my youngest son. I said, you know, I've lived a lot of places and been a lot of places, but I've never lived anywhere that I've enjoyed more than Bowling Green, Kentucky. And that is as true today for me as it's ever been. So I'm proud to be able to represent Bowling Green and the area that I represent for the past 16 years. And Sue, you spoke true, Kevin, about Sue. Because when we were looking at the mental health facility, she called me and telling me, we need to get this in. I said, Sue, have you put in a request? Oh, no, what am I supposed to do? I told her. She went, and it was past the deadline. So she calls me back in a panic, and you know Sue. I mean, she can get on her soapbox, and so I said, let me see what I can do. Went down to our staff, and, you know, they were assimilating everything, and they said, okay, Senator, for you, we'll get it in. And we were able to get that. But it was thanks to Sue, who alerted me that it wasn't in. But also, one of the other things I was happy to work on our side too was the money for the riverfront. And we didn't get all that we wanted, but we did get $16 million for that project. So we're excited. I'm looking forward to that. But I want to thank you guys for the job you do, because I know it's not easy. Our job's not easy. Your job's not easy either. So I appreciate you and appreciate our city. And I'm glad to be a part and represent it. Thank you.
Senator Wilson, on behalf of the city, thank you very much for your service.
All right, next we have Representative Michael Meredith, and point of personal privilege, he's probably one of my closest friends to my husband and I in the General Assembly. He's been there really since we both started. My husband and I met as lobbyists, and he's been a great friend, him and his family. So appreciate and always look forward to working with him. He has carried a KLC bill probably every single session for the last 10 years, I'd say. And I know our CEO, Executive Director J.D. Cheney, thinks very highly of him. This year in particular, Representative Meredith carried House Bill 392, which did several things regarding procurement. It increased that small purchase threshold from $40,000 to $50,000 and put an automatic adjustment of $10,000 every 5 years. So that is huge to keep up with inflation when it comes to procurement. There's several other small provisions of that bill that do make a big impact, but that was super important for all our cities, Bowling Green included, and I'm very grateful to work with him this session. I'm sure we'll have him another bill next year. So thank you, Representative Meredith.
Gracie, members of the commission, and to all the folks watching tonight, it's an honor to represent Bowling Green, Warren County. It always has been in the years that I have served. Most of you all that know me know that my life story has kind of revolved around local government. My grandfather was a mayor. My father was a mayor. My brother is one of your city firefighters here in Bowling Green. And I was a city council member prior to serving in this role, and then went on to get the opportunity to chair the House Local Government Committee for about 5 years during the earlier stage of my time in Frankfort. Sue has gotten many accolades tonight, and I'm going to divest from Sue from just a moment.
Thank you.
Melinda, Commissioner Hill, is probably responsible in large part for me being able to be here where I'm at now, because I probably would have never made it through my career at Western Kentucky University as a student had she not been my academic advisor and kept me on track all those years. So thank you, Melinda, for all that you've done for me over the years. Thank you to you, Mayor, and to all the commission members, though, for what you do to make Bowling Green a truly great city. And I mean that in every sense of the word. When you travel the Commonwealth, when you travel the nation, but especially the Commonwealth, Bowling Green, Warren County, and this community have a reputation of being the gold standard for what a community can achieve when we all work together to do the right things together. And we're proud as a delegation to be a part of that. I know you all as commissioners and mayor are proud of that, and I know the folks across the road in the county offices are also proud of the work that we all do to make Bowling Green, Warren County, that shining light on a hill throughout our entire Commonwealth. So thank you for all you do and the opportunity to work with you on all the issues that we work on.
Four, five. Representative Meredith, thank you so much.
That's the sweetest thing anybody can say. Seriously. You got her crying. It's a sweetie. Yeah. I love it when people, the students that I taught, it was.
Last but certainly not least, we have Representative Robert Duvall. No offense to these other guys, but there's probably not a nicer person in the General Assembly than Representative Duvall. Every time I've seen him, he is even keel with a smile on his face, and he is just an absolute pleasure to work with. This year in particular, we had some issues, and we had the past couple years with tax increment financing. And we've had several bills and iterations filed that we've had to kind of Band-Aid the issue in budget bills throughout the past, and Senator Givens has graciously done so. But this session, we kind of faced an uphill battle on getting that temporary Band-Aid, and Representative Duvall said, I want to help you all find a permanent fix. This is very important and incremental to Bowling Green and other cities across the Commonwealth. And he did not stop. It was the last couple of days of session, and he was able to help us with getting a compromise to have a permanent solution for those tax increment financing agreements. So thank you, Representative Duvall, and if you'd like to say a couple words.
Thank you, Gracie. Thank you, commissioners. Thank you for all that you do. I will tell you, there was probably a couple of times those last couple of days of session where I was not smiling. That was tough, but we got it done. We accomplished a lot. But I'm just going to reiterate what my colleagues have said. This is a special place, Bowling Green in Warren County. I absolutely love living here. I've been here longer than I've been anywhere in my life. Been here since I was 18 years old. And absolutely love it. And it is an honor and a privilege to serve this community each and every day. The special sauce is that we do, as legislators and as commission, as a county, as a state, we get along with each other. We work together because we want the same things. We want this community to be successful. We want this to be the best place to live and raise a family. And I think we're doing a great job at that. So thank y'all.
Fine, there it is. We'll all be at Gerard's after. Thank you, Dr. Duvall, Representative Duvall.
And if we can just do a group photo, then our presentation is complete, and I appreciate the mayor and commission members for having us today. So thank you. Right, yeah.
Good job, Gracie.
There we go, perfect. All right. Sue, will you scoot just a little bit to the left so we can see your face? Perfect. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you guys so much.
All right, Mr. Meisel, do you have comments at this time?
The only one I have tonight is if you are in the audience wanting to make public comments, please make sure you sign the register in the back corner of the room. We'll take that up after regular session. I believe that's all I have tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Meisel. Our first item of business is our approval of minutes. I'm sorry, we're going to go to public hearing, and the purpose of this is to obtain comments from our residents regarding proposed 2026 property tax rates. And I'll turn the floor over to Ms. Erin Ballou.
Good afternoon. This is the annual public hearing for the City of Bowling Green property tax rates. Notice of this public hearing was published in the Bowling Green Daily News on Thursday, August 6th, and also posted on the city's website and advertised on the city's social media pages. This meeting is required by KRS 13207, since the proposed rate for real property taxes is greater than the compensating rate. The rate being proposed is 20.3 cents for each $100 of assessed property value, which is the same as 2025, while the compensating rate, or the no-growth rate, has been calculated at 19.6 cents per $100. Before we begin into the presentation of the public hearing, I want to give a quick overview on property taxes. Property taxes are an important source of revenue to the City of Bowling Green for a couple of reasons. First, property taxes are the second largest operating revenue source, comprising 18.3% of the FY 2027 general fund revenue budget. And second, property taxes have historically been a stable and consistent source of revenue. By comparison, the city's largest operating revenue, occupational fees, account for nearly 70% of the FY 2027 revenue budget and tend to be more volatile, which we've experienced in the past 12 months. So while the city relies heavily on occupational fees, property taxes provide an important source of stability. They help to balance the city's revenue structure and act as a mitigating factor when occupational fee revenues fluctuate. I also want to point out quickly how one property tax dollar is spent by the city. Public safety accounts for nearly 50% of that at 46.3 cents of the dollar for your police and fire services for the public. Next, Parks and Recreation receives nearly 16 cents, and that supports the day-to-day operation and maintenance of the city's 25-plus parks and the amenities at those parks. The rest of the dollar is rounded up by the general government services, public works, and neighborhood and community services. I want to hand off the presentation for a couple of slides to Staff Accountant Zane Martin. He is going to discuss the 2026 property tax assessments and calculations.
Good evening. So starting with assessment values. So Warren County PVA has provided and the state has certified the real estate values in the city limits to be $8.3 billion. That is a 5.3% or a $421 million increase compared to last year. Existing real estate assessments grew by 3.7% compared to the total assessed 2025 tax value of $7.9 billion. This is less than the 6.3% that was assessed on last year's existing property. The historical growth average for existing property has hovered around 2.7%. New property assessments were valued at $128 million, and this is a 1.6, and this accounts for 1.6% of the 5.3. Again, the historical growth average for new property is 2.4%. So moving on to the rates. So before setting or proposing a rate, the city is required to calculate a compensating rate. This represents a no-growth rate, meaning the rate is factored on the expected revenue from last year, which is noted by the capital A, the $16 million there. This doesn't account for any existing growth nor new property. This rate essentially maintains the same revenue proposed as last year, excluding new property. The compensating rate has been calculated at 19.6 cents per $100, and it's listed as rate 1 on the slide. This would generate approximately $16 million. And just a note that selecting this rate would cause a shortfall in the budget for the FY27 property tax revenue budget, which that is set at $16.6 million. So the other rate that the state requires us to calculate is the 4% rate. This considers an existing growth of 4%. This is the maximum allowable rate by Kentucky statute, which is not subject to a recall. This rate has been calculated at 20.4 cents per $100 and could produce revenues of approximately $17 million before any homestead exemption or exonerations. The expected revenue of this $17 million would be closer to 16.7, factoring our collection rate of 97.9%. So now that this range has been calculated, the city can propose a rate within that range. We are proposing a rate of 20.3 cents per $100, and again, this is the same rate that was set last year. So I'll hand the presentation back over to Aaron.
Okay, oops. Thank you, Zane. The results from the calculations Zane provided are summarized here. The city, again, is responsible for setting the annual tax rate, while the PVA establishes the assessed values to which that rate will be applied. So for FY 2026, the proposed tax rate is 20.3 cents per $100 of assessed property value, which is the same as 2025. At that rate, a property assessed at $200,000 would owe $406 in city property taxes. Using the 20.3 cent rate and assuming that 97.9% collection rate, as the city estimates approximately $16,586,000 in revenue would be collected, which meets the revenue budget set for FY27, which is $16,598,000. If the compensating rate of 19.6 cents is used instead, the city could see a potential revenue shortfall of approximately $583,000. I also want to note that the homestead exemption is still available for persons 65 and older. That continues to be $49,100 for tax years 2025 and 2026. We expect that to be raised by an inflationary factor for 27 and 28. Persons can get with or contact the Kentucky Office of Property Value Administration to look into that rate. That office would pass that information along to the city, and we could adjust property tax bills. This slide shows the history of potential tax rates. The red line at the top shows the potential max rate not subject to recall if the city had taken the 4% rate each year. The no growth rate at the bottom in the dark blue is the compensating rate, and in between those two rates is the actual rate set by the city in green. That is nearly a straight line since these rates have been consistent since 2008, when the rate was established set at 20.6 cents and has been 20.6 down to 20.3 cents currently since 2008. Through the years, the city has chosen to maintain this consistent tax rate that has historically fallen between the 4% growth rate and the compensating rate. This has provided a minimum of $26 million in savings to the taxpayer since 2009 when you look at the red line to that bottom dark blue line. It's important also to note that credit rating agencies, including Moody's and Standard & Poor's, prefer for local governments to set a property tax rate that produces strong and consistent revenue growth and it ensures long-term sustainability. Both rating agencies favor property taxes in their evaluations, which the city will be undertaking next year as debt will be issued for the municipal building and fire station number 9 projects. As seen on this chart, both of the city's proposed 2026 tax rates for real property and personal property fall below the average 2025 published rates for Kentucky cities, counties, and school districts. The city's personal property rate has remained unchanged since 1980 at 26 cents per $100 of assessed value, of property value, and we also recommend to keep that rate the same. This slide shows the process that we'll undertake this fall for property taxes. The first two dates in blue have already occurred or are occurring tonight. First, the PVA assessment was certified on August the 8th by the state. Tonight, we're having our public hearing on proposed property tax rates. Next will be a first and second reading considered by the Board of Commissioners during October for property tax rates, during September. In October, we expect to mail out around 24,000 property tax invoices around mid-month, but the exact date will be determined when we get the information from the PVA office. As in the past, property taxes will be due on Thursday, December 31st. Any invoices that are not paid or postmarked by December 31st will be applied with a 10% penalty on the next day, the 1st of January. As I wrap up this public hearing, I would like to provide some additional general information. This information is the same as in past years. First, city property owners pay both city and county taxes and do receive 2 invoices, one invoice from the city and one invoice from the county. City invoices will continue to include Bowling Green Independent School District taxes. The city does not set the school district tax rate, nor does it retain these taxes. We collect those and remit those back to the city school district on a weekly basis in the fall. City property tax payments will be accepted in person at the City Hall Annex, Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can also pay by dropping off in our drop box, paying online, or in the mail. Finally, persons with mortgage escrow accounts will receive a property tax invoice. That information may also be sent to the mortgage company if requested, but it is the property owner's responsibility to confirm that payment has been made by the deadline. I would like to thank Staff Accountant Zane Martin for preparing the calculations, gathering historical data, and presenting with me tonight. I would also like to thank the city's information technology and treasury staff in advance for their efforts with processing the 24,000 invoices and assisting property tax owners with questions and payments. As this is a public hearing, anyone who would like to make comments or ask questions may come forward momentarily to the podium. Also, questions may be sent to the address and email listed on the slides above or by calling the Treasury office. The deadline to submit those questions in order to respond by the first reading of the ordinance would be next Wednesday, August the 26th. As mentioned, setting the 2026 property tax rates requires 2 readings of an ordinance, and again, the first reading will be in 2 weeks on September the 1st. That concludes our public hearing. I am available for any questions or comments.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Zane. Comments at this time from the public is open up. On this issue? Yes. And then come up to the podium, sir. State your name.
Name's Mark Davis. You all know me. The question I want to ask to make sure I'm hearing it right is the rate's staying the same, but the assessment value is going to go up 5%. Is that what I saw?
Rate stays the same? Yes.
The assessment values are going to go up 5%. But that's what I saw was like 5 point.
Overall. New and existing growth is 5%.
Well, I can expect to pay 5% more.
Not necessarily. Not if your house was not reassessed, so.
Okay.
Okay, further public comments? Okay, none at this time. Thank you very much. Our first item is approval of minutes, regular meeting, August 4th, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Bailey. Any comments? None. Roll call, please.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Beasley Brown. Alcott.
Yes. Municipal order number 2026-184.
Municipal order approving the promotion of Tyler Creek to the position of Communications Dispatcher 2 in the Police Department.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Beasley Brown, second by Commissioner Hill. Mr. Mizel.
I would like to congratulate Tyler Creek, Dispatcher 1 at Bowling Green Police Department. He has met all of the requirements to go to Dispatcher 2, and recommending his promotion. Have Daniel Piper, our Assistant Communications Director, with us here tonight. Can answer any of your questions, or Daniel, feel free to comment about Tyler. So, is Tyler here?
Yes, she is.
Vote.
Thank you all. Thank you, Mr. Meisel, Mayor and Commissioners. I'm here today to make a recommendation of the promotion of Tyler Creek from a Dispatcher 1 to a Dispatcher 2. Tyler joined us in October of 2024 as a Dispatcher 1. She recently completed the required radio training that we have, which is 84 hours of radio training. She's worked hard throughout this process and has showed and has demonstrated her dedication to learning, her commitment to our department, and her willingness to take on new responsibilities. I'm proud of her growth and happy to recommend her for promotion. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
All right, well, Tyler, you're here tonight. Do you have anyone with you you'd like to introduce? Please. Hi, parents. Well, congratulations tonight. We're going to make this official. You ready? All right, roll call, please.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Congratulations, Tyler Creek, on your promotion. Municipal Order Number 2026-185.
Municipal order approving the probationary appointment of Lindsay Noltcamper to the position of Communications Dispatcher 2 in the Police Department.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Perigin, second by Commissioner Beasley Brown. Mr. Meisel.
I'm going to ask Lori Gray, our HR manager for the police department, to come up and make this recommendation. Lori?
Good evening. Thank you. So I'm here this evening to recommend Lindsay Noltcamper to the position of Communication Dispatcher 2. She is here. Lindsay, if you want to stand. Hi. All right. So we advertise for certified dispatchers year-round, and we have so far received 15 applications, and we have interviewed 3 candidates. Lindsay graduated from Warren Central High School and has a bachelor's degree in psychology and a minor in business administration and marketing from Western Kentucky University. She is coming to us from the Warren County Sheriff's Office Dispatch, and we are excited to have her continue her career in dispatching here at the City of Bowling Green. So if you have any questions for me, please let me know.
Very much, Lori. Lindsay, hello. Good evening. You have anyone with you tonight? Well, hello, Susan, and congratulations on coming on to the city. Welcome you. We're going to make this official. Roll call, please.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes, congratulations and welcome, Lindsay. Municipal Order Number 2026-186.
Municipal order approving the transfer of Brittany Rich to the position of Fire Code Inspector in the Fire Department.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Bailey. Mr. Meisel.
We have an opening in our inspection division. I'd like to ask Chief Brooks to come up and make his recommendation to fill this position. Chief?
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. I first want to say happy birthday to Hillary. She's a big part of our team, so I hope you have a great day, and you mean a lot to us. As far as the position that we look to fill tonight with your support, we had one of our retirees come back and serve as a fire inspector for a while. And he resigned and went to serve somewhere else back in the fire service. So we're grateful for him as he's still part of our family. But we bring forth an employee that you approved to hire back in 2019, and that's firefighter Brittany Rich. She comes well-credentialed, but more importantly, she has the respect of her peers. And she can do the job. Based on your approval tonight, she can get the ground running, and we can shore up some things within the city that needs her attention. So if you got any questions, I can answer them.
Brittany here tonight?
She's not here tonight.
She's not here. Well, that's unfortunate, but we look
Yes, sir.
forward to putting her in this position. So thank you, Chief.
Yes.
All right, roll call, please.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes, congratulations to Brittany. Municipal Order Number 2026-187.
Municipal order approving the probationary appointments of Tristan Carter, Carrie King, Cameron Stein, and Anderson Young to the position of firefighter in the Fire Department.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Beasley Brown, second by Commissioner Hill. Mr. Meisel.
I'm going to ask Chief Brooks to come back up and make recommendations for these fills for the fire department. Chief? I'm sorry, Tiara. Please come up and make recommendations and introduce these gentlemen. Thank you.
Chief can do it if you would like to. Good evening, Mayor, Board of Commissioners. We are going to be making recommendations for 4 lateral candidates this evening. This process has been in the works for a couple years. This year it's finally coming to fruition, so I'm honored and privileged to be a part of this process. All 4 gents are here this evening. If they would please stand when I call their name. We have Tristan Carter, Carrie King, Cameron Stein, and Anderson Young. And amongst these guys, they're bringing over 13 years of previous firefighter experience. They are all EMT certified. We have an associate's degree. We have a paramedic. We have 2 gentlemen that are coming from Glasgow, someone from Union Fire, and then our last candidate coming from Paducah. But we are so excited. This is our first go around, my 4th recruitment cycle. So if you have any questions for me, I'll be more than happy to answer.
Brittany, gentlemen, the floor is yours, and we're going to turn it over to each one of you if you'd like to introduce your family that's with you tonight.
No family here, they're attending online, but thank you for the opportunity.
All right.
Anderson Young, this is my mother and father, aunt, grandparents, and girlfriend's name.
And what was your school you graduated from? I thought so. Good to see you, Anderson. Congratulations tonight. Yes, sir.
Carrie King, my girlfriend Michael with me, some family back home. I'm grateful for the opportunity.
Congrats.
Cameron Stein, I have my wife Casey, my mother-in-law Shelley, my mother Barbara, and my father-in-law Tim.
Well, gentlemen, look around you. You're joining a bigger family, and that's our Bowling Green family, but our Bowling Green Fire Department family. So welcome to the city. Look forward to seeing y'all, and congratulations. We're going to make this official. Roll call, please.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes, congratulations, gentlemen. And that finishes our personnel. So if there's any personnel that'd like to exit or depart, enjoy your night. Please celebrate safely.
Before we introduce the next item, can I interrupt this broadcast?
Absolutely.
May I now?
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. One thing I failed to mention in my comments was happy birthday to Hillary, but also our police chief, Michael Delaney, received Chief of the Year honors just this past week up in Lexington, and I'm brain dead this afternoon, so I apologize to Chief Delaney, but we are very proud to have Chief Delaney as Kentucky Police Chiefs Association's 2026 Chief of the Year. So it's the first Bowling Green chief to receive this honor, so thank you, Chief.
If there's any way to submit him for National Chief of the Year, we need to find a way to do that because he's the best.
So as you know, we've had a Fire Chief of the Year, we've had a Public Works Director of the Year, now we got a Police Chief of the Year. I keep waiting for the NCS Director of the Year, Ben Childers, maybe, but what's that?
We have Clerk of the Year.
Clerk of the Year.
Clerk of the Year, Ashley.
Clerk of the Year, I'm sorry, Ashley.
It's okay.
CFO of the Year, or City Attorney of the Year, we'll see. So thank you for letting me do that.
Congratulations, Chief. Municipal Order Number 2026-188.
Municipal order approving fiscal year 2025 and submission of the fiscal year 2026 Section 8 Management Assessment Program certification for the Housing Choice Voucher Program.
Moved.
Moved by Commissioner Beasley Brown, second by Commissioner Bailey. Mr. Mizel.
This is something HUD requires us to do, our housing division. We call it the CMAP, Section 8 Management Assessment Program certification. We submitted for FY25 and received a perfect score of 100%, getting ready to submit for FY26. And I'd like to thank Elvira Romick for all of her work for this program that she keeps running, runs a tight ship. And kudos to Elvira and your staff for all that you do for our housing division. And we ask for your all support and to submit this for FY26 and approve or accept this FY25. Elvira can answer any of your questions you might have on this process.
Thank you, Mr. Mizel. Elvira, thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for your hard-earned work on this. Commissioners, questions, comments?
Just one question. It says that in our memo here that this score designates us as a high performer, and so I'd love for you to tell our community what is it that makes us a high performer, because we need to brag on you a little bit.
So the way the CMAP is set up is there's a scoring for every section, and once you're above, I think, like a 90 or 95, then you're designated a high performer, and we've achieved that status. It might say in the memo, but probably the last 15, 16 years, something like that. I think we've achieved it for every year. And so it just shows, and the part of this, as you're going through that assessment, is she has to pull all the files to make sure that we're doing everything accurately as we go along. So it's a sampling setup as we go. It really just shows the effort that goes into by everybody to making sure that we're running the program efficiently and effectively, but also trying to help as many families as we can as we go through that process. So thank you all for your continued support.
Yeah, it's a big deal. We have so many families who are in crisis and, looking just for make sure they have a safe place for their kids to go to sleep. And I know that your hard work in this growing city helps make sure many, many more kids and families have a safe place to go to sleep at night. I'm just so grateful for all that you do.
Over 700 case files and we're 100%. That's saying a lot, so.
Roll call, please.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Municipal order number 2026-189.
Municipal order approving and accepting 5 Veterans Affairs Supportive Housing Vouchers for the Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher Program.
Moved.
Moved by Commissioner Beasley Brown, second by Commissioner Bailey. Mr. Mizel.
We are very fortunate to have been awarded 5 additional Veterans Affairs Supportive Housing Vouchers, VASH, amounting to about $30,360. These will add to our current complement and increase our total to $755. And so, again, I'd like to thank Elvira for her work on these, and she's here, and Brent, to answer any questions you might have. These will go toward veterans that are in need of housing support, and they would have first dibs on these.
Thank you. Questions?
One question, how many total veterans vouchers do we have?
This will put us up to 40. And so these are for homeless veterans. It's a partnership with us and the VA. The VA provides all the case management. They do the identification. They go out and find the homeless veterans, provide all the supportive services. I mean, literally walk them through that process. We're here to support on the housing side and make sure that they have that stable form of housing, and then they're providing all the therapeutic care through the VA programs. So,
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Municipal order number 2026-190.
Municipal order approving the purchase of police vehicles from Don Franklin Somerset, Inc. in the total amount of $574,056 through cooperative purchase under Kentucky State Pricing Contract.
So moved.
Second?
Moved by Commissioner Perigin, second by Commissioner Hill. Mr. Mizel.
Back in June, you all approved, as part of the FY27 budget, the purchase of 14 police patrol vehicles. We are currently using Dodge SUVs for that purpose. We went out, solicited for bids July 9th, received four vendors on the state contract. We went with that. It's a lot faster, smoother process, but there were four proposals, or four vendors saw it: Don Franklin from Somerset, Freedom, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram of Lexington, Paul Miller Ford, and Bachman Auto Group of Southern Indiana. Quotes were received from Don Franklin and Freedom Chrysler, but Paul Miller Ford and Southern Indiana, Auto Group Southern Indiana, did not respond, so we had two to choose from. And we are recommending Don Franklin in Somerset submitted a quote for 14 Pursuit package patrol SUVs that would amount to $41,004 each. And so looking at a total of $574 and $56 for this purchase, and we're asking for your approval to proceed. Chief Delaney's here with us. Andy Souza is here with us over Fleet, can answer any questions you might have.
All right. Thank you, Chief. Thank you for you and your team that put hard work in this. Questions at this time? None. Roll call, please.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Municipal order number 2026-191.
Municipal order approving a contract with Olathe Ford Sales for the purchase of a F-750 crew cab truck and attachments in an amount not to exceed $212,697 through Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Contract.
So moved.
Second.
By Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Beasley Brown. Mr. Mizel.
Again, part of the FY27 budget, in the capital section, there was a budget item for a F-750 crew cab truck for Public Works operations, and went out and found this on Sourcewell, or cooperative agreement with Olathe.
I say Olathe.
Olathe. Fleet Sales, I think they're out of Kansas. We bought from them before. Found one for $212,697. It's replacing a 2015 F-750 dump truck. These are the big daddies that you see out plowing roads in the snow and picking up and debris and all that sort of thing. So recommending this purchase, $212,697. Andy Souza is here, can answer any of your questions.
Thank you, Andy, for your work on this. Questions at this time? None. Roll call, please.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Municipal order number 2026-192.
Municipal order approving the purchase of vehicles from Gary Yeomans Ford Frankfurt in the total amount of $244,973 through cooperative purchase under Kentucky State Pricing Contract.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Perigin. Mr. Mizel.
Another part of the budget, FY27 capital. A couple of different departments represented here. We need to buy a couple of trucks for the fire department, replacing 2016 Ram, two 2016 Ram trucks, and one 2005 GMC with 3 4-ton crew cabs, 2 of those, and then 1 medium-duty crew cab, gooseneck ball kit for the fire department. Those are in your packets in the memo. And then the fourth one would be a 1-ton super cab for the Public Works Operations Division. All these were found under the state pricing contract, and electing to go with, it's called Gary Yeomans Ford of Frankfort, Kentucky. Total amount again is $244,973, all within the FY27 budget. Andy Souza is here, can answer any of your questions on this. As well as fire departments downstairs penning, but try to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Mr. Mizel. Questions? Roll call, please.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Municipal order number 2026-193.
Municipal order approving the master plan for Russell Sims Aquatic Center as prepared by Luckett and Varley.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Brown, second by Commissioner Perigin. Mr. Mizel.
I'd like to ask Brent Belcher to come up and introduce this item and introduce his staff that worked on it, all that. Brent? And any guests we have.
Greetings, everybody. Appreciate the opportunity. I have to say happy birthday to Hillary, just like every other city employee that comes up to the podium. But thank you all for the opportunity. I'll turn this over. Cameron Levis is here. He's the Recreation Division Manager. He headed up this project, so he'll do the hard work. I'll just set it up and say this is an FY26 budget item that you guys approved in the FY26 budget. Follows behind the previous approved master plan for the entire department, for what that's worth. This little historical knowledge, the water park opened in 2000. It's operated for 26 years. We took the year of COVID off. So it's a 27-year-old facility as of this year. And in those 27 years, you can do the math, but we're talking somewhere around 80,000 children a year, participants a year, so times 27. So a huge impact on our community, our region, and something that we're very proud of for our department. So for lack of more talking from me, I'll turn it over to Cameron.
Cameron, you left your son at home?
I know. I should have brought him for this. He's been at the pool a bunch this summer, so yeah. Okay, yep. I'll give this to Matt. Just for whenever you're ready. So yeah, Brent set it up well. Obviously, from a historical perspective, as he said, 27 years. The water park opened in 2000, and even then it was setting a standard for our community. Just some notes on it. It was the largest, at the time, largest municipal aquatic facility in the state of Kentucky. And then the stainless steel wall pool and the 50-meter lap pool was believed, I don't know if this is true or not, it was in the Daily News back then, but it was believed to be the largest stainless steel wall pool in the world at the time. And so set the standard back in 2000, and we're looking to do that again. We want to move this facility into its next 25, 50 years, serving Bowling Green. And so working with Luckett and Farley, with Matt, Tanner, and then George from Councilman Hunsaker has been an absolute pleasure. They've been fantastic to work with. I think between MKSK and then Luckett and Farley, our community's been able to work with some pretty big firms, and I think that's been cool for them, I hope. I won't speak for them, but to learn about Bowling Green and what our community is all about. I think it's kind of put us on the map. They work with really big communities, do big projects. One thing I learned about Luckett and Farley is they actually designed the Twin Spires at Churchill Downs years ago, so that's pretty cool. And now they're helping us design a water park and the enhancement. So been a pleasure to work with them, and I'm excited for them to present the vision for Russell Sims to you guys. Turn it over to Matt.
Thank you, Cameron. Well, thank you very much. Again, my name is Matt Gullo. With me, I have Tanner Pruitt and George Dines from Councilman Hunsaker. Tanner's with me with Luckett and Farley. And I want to thank you, commissioners, for having us here. Cameron mentioned the process, and we have absolutely enjoyed the entire process. Your community is fantastic. We have been in the community, and we've done a few community events, and the kids were adorable. Everything went really well, and I think this master plan is going to really, hopefully, improve the park. Set a motion forward for you to keep it relevant over the next 25, 27 years now, right? And so what I'm going to do today is go through our process and where we ended up. And so the first part is, I'm assuming you all can see it in front of you, right? Okay. So we wanted to start out with some focus items. And that came from your stakeholders. So Brent was there, Cameron's team was there, and we tried to identify what was really important as part of Russell Sims to the community, to the parks, to maintenance, everything, right? And so these are the focus groups that we ended up with, and you'll see this as some repetitive items that we went through every step along the way, and how we reacted to those items as it relates to the longevity of the space, the enhanced experience and safety, the diversification of revenue and making sure that there's more than one thing that earns revenue at the park to make it sustainable. And then finally, future growth, which is what we're all here for. And so you'll see these items start to translate in the process and get furthered along the entire way of the master plan. And so part one of this involves our facility assessment. And it took a deep dive into what's there existing, right? And so George went, I don't know if you want to go through some of those items, but we analyzed from top to bottom the entire facility. It was during winter months, so it was done so that we could see the guts of the spaces, be in the pool itself rather than have water in it. George, you want to expand on that a little bit?
Sure thing. And so a couple of things that we noticed in terms of the facility's age and lifespan. I think the biggest thing was that it has been well taken care of by the city and their team. It was evident from the beginning that we don't see some of the issues that we might typically see with a 25-year-old facility. One key point is that the mechanical systems had already undergone a renovation, and usually when we're doing a facility assessment on a facility like this that's 25 years old, that's at the top of the list, undergo a mechanical systems renovation, and so that was already completed. And even the play structures, while they're an older model original to the facility, they've been able to find the one supplier in the country that has replacement parts, even though the company that built those is no longer in business. And so they've been able to keep those amenities for the kids operational. And as I mentioned, other facilities, I have another facility that has a very similar play feature and unit to you all, and they haven't used it in 8 years, but it's still sitting in the pool, and the moms have to put water up on the slide just for the kids to utilize it, where we got to Russell Sims this summer and everything is functional and working. And so there are some maintenance items that we had detailed throughout this process that are ongoing in terms of the possible play feature replacement, ensuring that if you do find any cracks in the pool, that those are replaced, continuing to paint and re-gel coat the water slides on an ongoing basis. But overall, we did not feel that the facility was at the end of its lifespan, that you could continue to utilize it for the community.
Yep. Thanks, George. So you can see that we started with some sort of baseline of information, which actually was really promising to us. Cameron and his team, I was astonished at this, the amount of records that he had in terms of what the performance was in the past, but also what his goals and future plans are for the park. I thought this was remarkable. Most communities I go to don't have anything near this amount of information, so I applaud him for doing that. And this really gave us a lot of information to go off of. So looking at the existing conditions for ourselves, but we have, these were substantial plans that we ran through and got a lot of really good information from to get us a good jump start into planning mode. And so the next steps of what we did after the assessment, we did market analysis and then actually started to do some surveying with the stakeholders. The community hadn't been involved yet, but we need to, again, get some sort of baseline of information so that we have, if you look at the pyramid, building the pyramid up, right? And so here are those topics again, from longevity, enhancements, enhanced experiences, revenue diversification, and future growth. And what we looked at is, where are you in the market? What does the market want you to be like in terms of your community, the size of it, what are others doing around it, things like that. But also, how does that market stand out to the people who maintain it, who operate it, who use it? So from a longevity standpoint, we understand that growth is a must. If you want to continue this on for the next 25 plus years, we have to grow in some capacity to be relevant to other stakeholders around you, meaning other water parks. The enhanced experience, making sure that the space maintains accessible, maintains current code, maintains safety protocol. As you know, with some of the schools that we've seen in the last, 10, 15 years, they're constantly having to update. Your park system's not any different, so we have to keep up with that method as well. Revenue diversification, Cameron does as much as he possibly can with what he has on site, but in order to maintain operations, we have to find new avenues for new revenue. So what does that look like, and what does the market actually say is things that are generating more revenue for parks like this? And finally, the future growth, finding a new attraction, but being responsible with it, meaning it still has to maintain in a budget of some sort. We are not trying to be Big Bend. We're not trying to be some massive water park. So being obvious with the budget and what you all can support, but still grow. So those are things that we looked at from a market standpoint. The stakeholders had input from those notes that we found in a market in the region around us. And we went out as far as Nashville, Indiana, and surrounding counties around here to gain that market knowledge. Was there anything I missed on the market analysis? Okay. So I want to make sure. And so we have a really good base of information between what Cameron has, between what we found out, between our on-site analysis, things like that. So that leads us to this next section, which is who do we want to be when we grow up? So like any master plan, there is some sort of future focus here. And we itemized 3 different avenues of where this park could be in the next 25 years. And so I'm not going to go through every one of those in a lot of detail, but what you can see the 3 at the very top there. So the favorite neighborhood park, a signature destination, and what we ended up with was a local escape. So somewhere in between is where we ended up. Not necessarily a small dinky little neighborhood park, but also not this national water park that you're trying to compete with a lot of other parks around the area. So we wanted to be, and I'm going to read this, Russell Sims Aquatic Center evolves into an immersed local escape, someplace families feel transported without leaving town. Thoughtful growth with signature amenities, design character, and branded experiences position the park as a summer highlight that balances community roots with water park energy. So that's kind of the thing that that this team, the entire team, Parks and Everybody, looked at as our vision statement. And from a master planning standpoint, we always look back at this as something to compare our moves to. So if it doesn't meet that vision statement, we're off track. So it's always something we go back to. From there, we look at our planning goals and what we want to achieve from that vision statement. So one of the main things from a longevity infrastructure is exactly what George said. You have excellent spaces or excellent mechanics, but it's not going to last forever. So upgrading those, maintaining the pools, maintaining it, the existing features that you know are going to stay there for the next 25 years so they remain intact, and you know what the cost is year over year. And so that's going to be really important in the longevity infrastructure. From enhanced experiences, creating spaces that bring families to you year after year, that has a flexible program to it, so that Cameron can then get to more revenue diversification. And so that became really important. So what are those things? You'll see this in future slides of what those revenue diversification opportunities are. But it allows you to maintain, but actually grow and diversify your overall budget to earn more dollars at the end of the year. And finally, the future growth and attractions, pursuing low maintenance, but intentional new amenities for this space. What does that look like? And make sure that those spaces have opportunities for more programs. So those are the goals that we come back to. So again, vision statement, this is kind of the broad overall vision. Goals are things that we're trying to achieve. And then that brings us to, this is what we think can happen over the next 25, maybe even less years. So today, 2024, sorry, you have about 950 visitors per day on average, so about 70,000 people total. We think you can get 25 to 25% growth before 25 years. And you'll see that in the coming slides, but that is about, that 20 to 25% growth is what we're trying to achieve through this master plan and achieving all the goals that I've mentioned just before. Now, what you have to pay attention to is some of the things that it's going to impact. This is part of a bigger park, and so the entry, you're going to having all those soccer games and all the things that go, volleyball that's there, people just walking and enjoying the park. So all the people who are parking in the parking lot, if you have a 20 to 25% growth, what does that mean for your parking? And communicating that with some of the people who are organizing soccer tournaments and things like that. Restrooms and locker rooms, I think that's pretty obvious. So if you have more people, you need more restrooms. Shaded space, that really plays into not only comfort, but that plays into safety. These summer days are not getting any cooler. Lots of sun, lots of violent rays coming at us, and having more shade, and you'll see this in the next slide, that is a necessity for this park. And finally, the concessions, just needing more food, more people, more food. And so finally, we have a lot of input. We have a vision of where we want to go with the park. Throughout this process, we've tried to involve the community as much as possible. So we did it in two different fashions. The first one was online and getting out to the people who have used this park in the past to see what they would like to see in the future. And then the second one is actually at the park. And you can see those pictures on the right. That's us at the park during a program day in June with Cameron and his team, talking to all the kids. And it was, like I said, it was a fantastic day. We were there for 4 hours talking to kids and seeing what they want, interacting with them on boards. They're having a fantastic time, and the best thing is the lifeguards got involved, the maintenance people got involved, kids ages from tiny tykes all the way to the teenagers all wanted to come in and give input. So not going through every little item here, you'll have this presentation, but like I said, shade was one of the #1 things that we saw people want in terms of the survey, but also during comments on site. With that, a lazy river, multi-play structures, updating the water slides, the restrooms became an important thing to some of the kids. They feel like they could use an upgrade. And then when we talk to the kids on site, their favorite spaces right now, because they don't have any new spaces, their favorite spaces are their water slides. But I thought was interesting, their next #1 space was actually the pool. It's where they can jump in and play and do all that stuff. And so that goes back to maintaining the existing spaces and making sure that those are operational during your high peak hours. So that big pool is a high use space, so let's make sure that it stays updated and maintainable. But I will say that the kids really want a lazy river. They saw a lazy river, and you'll see kind of an example of this in our slides, and they just said, I want that, it was so cool. So like, it was pretty cool to see their eyes light up in that. And not only will it bring light to the park, it will absolutely bring more people to it. It's something that just draws people, both young and old. I go in lazy rivers all the time, just because it's relaxing, it's fun, you can set your imagination free, all sorts of things. So it's a great time, and it would be a well-deserved amenity at the park. All right, so part 3, here's the fun part. I've talked too much, and finally, Tanner is going to hand out something that you can follow along with. And so here's our park. This is the improved park. I need to mention this and make sure you understand it. This is 25-year master plan, right? This is not next year, this is not 5 years, this is 25 years out. And so while I would love for you all to do this, next year, it's not going to be not going to be obtainable, just because we don't want to shut down the park during peak days, meaning summer days. And so this is going to have to be a phased process. And so what I'm going to do is, between Cameron and Brent, discussions that we've had with them, run through some of the 1st through 5 year ideas. And so you can follow along on the sheet that you have in front of you. So the first 5 years and then the 5 years plus. And the order of importance as it relates to revenue, maintenance, all the goals that we're trying to achieve. And so that always talks back to our vision, always talks back to the goals and what we think is appropriate. And you'll see the line items of the cost ranges beside it that give you, you can go full bore or light on depending on what it's going to take per item. So number one, like I said throughout the whole presentation, maintenance, maintenance, maintenance. Make sure you maintain your spaces. It's very important. That comes down to not only the pool spaces, but your concrete, your fences, your drives, all of that, it lays into the maintenance. It goes into something that Brandon's really working on hard, is the branding of the space. What does that look and feel, feel like when you enter the park? Does it feel dated, or does it feel fresh, safe, can't wait to be there? So that goes into the maintenance. New Cabana Cove. And so New Cabana Cove, do I have a, oh, there we go. So people in the audience. New Cabana Cove is right here. And that is a relatively low cost for big revenue generation. It's basically a space that provides shade, provides an area that you can rent every day, about $100 a day, supply about 10 people in there, depending on the types of groups, and for a low cost to get that in there, actually provide quite a bit of revenue. And so that became number two. New shade structures. So you'll see this kind of scattered throughout. So new shade, again, that goes back to what we heard. So we're always hearing people, making sure that we listen to the public, because that's what we do. That's what you want to do. You want to serve and make sure that people are heard. So making sure that there's appropriate shade structures. The existing restroom renovation. So that's actually, your bones are great in terms of the building itself, but the space is a little bit dated. And so wanting to make sure that we update the restrooms to provide appropriate changing areas, appropriate showers, cleaning off areas, whatever. And so updating that to a little bit nicer space is what we heard, and also what we think is probably appropriate in the first 5 years. The next is the zero depth entry pool and the new splash pad. So I'll go those together. That's basically one big central area. And the design of this really revolves around age groups. And so one of the things that we noticed in the current park is that you had slides over here, your lap pool here, and then, there's your entry. And so it's kind of scattered. And so we tried to organize this into, hey, this is kind of for young families that want to, make sure they have easy eyes on their younger children. And then teenagers have a zone over here, and this is kind of an everybody zone. And so understanding how those age groups interact with one another became important in the final layout. And so updating this, because it's such a high user group, lots of young families that we interviewed and saw, they will spend a lot more time at your park if these spaces are upgraded. I think they're good right now, but they can always be a little bit better, a little bit more modernized in terms of what's happening at the space. The nice thing is your mechanics are all working. It's just the actual spaces itself, or the actual equipment, that spray, that could use some updates. And so the final is the concessions. Again, this is a big one. This is up here. And what this does, because your current concessions is over here on the far right, I think you all know where that is. We thought this is a big move because, one, it provides more revenue because you're going to do more concessions, but also, as somebody who has had young kids, I wish I still had young kids, the first thing a parent does is, are my kids full when they enter a water park? And then when they leave, are they full when they leave? Because I don't want crying kids because they're hungry when they're running around, and I don't want hungry kids when I leave and they're a pain in the butt when they go. Your concessions being way over here is not the first thing I see when I come in, and it's not the last thing I see when I go. And so relocating that to make sure that people know you have concessions, have an elevated concessions menu, would be a really nice feature right in this new location. It's a nice green open space right now, so it's easy to build, easy to phase. Added to that is a multi-purpose room so that parties can happen. This also more generation of funds after, your Labor Day and the park shuts down. So, if there's soccer games going on here, people can rent that out for team events, referee spaces, whatever. And so it just provides more area for after pool shutdown time. So it becomes more of a multi-use space with restrooms, multi-use rooms, and concessions all in one. And where it's located, you could actually build a concessions that serves the back near the playground. Parents who are there who are not at the water park might need a drink, or the parents at a soccer game might need something to eat or drink, and you could serve those individuals as well. So that is kind of the first 5 years. So we're looking at about $7 to $10 million roughly in the first 5 years. Again, this is phased, does not happen, it doesn't have to happen the first 5 years, depending on budgets. This is just what we've talked to with your team. So the next 5 years, we're looking at that new lazy river. So that's this nice new giant area. This is what I think that big wow factor is. You'll see as part of this would be the new water slides. So it's it doesn't have to be all one, but adding your new water slides here, but it dumps backwards into the new lazy river and actually becomes part of the lazy river. So it becomes this new feature. The space is already there. You are going to have to buy or build new mechanics, which is located right here for the lazy river. So it will be a cost implication, but this will serve a lot of people and bring a lot of people to the park. And so it's one of those wow amenities that will last you many years to come. So it's just something that we heard from the public. I know Cameron has mentioned it in the past to us and his entire team. It's something that we think could happen, 5 years beyond or sooner. All depends on you. And so that's those two. And finally, the entrance enhancements, the jump platform, and the staff break room. So the jump platform, it was heard that, the diving boards could use an upgrade. So instead of just diving boards, it's actually like a rock platform, very easy to install, and could be upgraded. The teenagers really seemed to attach to that when we were talking to them. So that was one. The staff area, so there is not a real prominent staff area at this park. And if the concessions move over here, you now have a nice empty room at the current concessions that turn into a prominent staff location right here that have support space, possibly additional concessions at that side of the park. But it's used for lifeguard safety. If somebody gets hurt, you can bring them in there, staff training, all sorts of things. Something that you don't have in a prominent location on the park right now. And then what did I say? The entrance enhancements. And so this comes toward the end when you start to get more people getting a better entryway for deliveries, things like that. We saw that as a need as part of this park. Maybe looking at the parking, things like that, as you start to see more people, more revenue, things like that. All right, so that was a lot. I do have a few more slides. I'll try to go through them quickly because I know I'm...
Matt, we may wrap this up. I think we've all have the plan. We're gonna,
Okay.
but we can maybe entertain questions at this time that commissioners may have.
Some nice pic.
Sorry?
I just wanted to show the renderings real quick.
It's nice.
So this is kind of final renderings of
Those
what the
people are
park
already there playing.
They're already there playing.
We've got to make this happen for them.
This is the new splash pad. Here's the new lazy river. Different view of the lazy river.
I think the community would really rally behind a
Yep.
lazy river.
Yes.
In Belgium, we had a lazy, crazy river. It was lazy, and then once every hour it got crazy, and the whole place came alive.
Imagine
Because
that.
it would shoot, and and kids
Oh, yeah.
just, adults, everybody loved the lazy,
yeah.
crazy.
Like I said, I go in them.
Well, this is fantastic. We appreciate the hard work. Luckett and Farley, sounds like you've become one of our team with Cameron, and the dream is alive. What BG could be is alive. Input has been sought after. more in probably any community in the world, people have been able to kind of direct what they would like to see their city become, and all these valuable nuggets are coming to us, and we're 25 years. I mean, at this point, if we don't have a future, if we don't plan, then we're just going to have the same facility that's going to tire and probably end up closing because it'll become a public nuisance. But these are great designs. They come with a lot bigger costs than they used to. But to be a vibrant city like we are, I think we have to make tough decisions, and these will be option points that we can definitely peruse and look out for the future of our city. But Matt, Tanner, George, thank you all very much. Your time, commissioners.
I was looking for a visual of the jump platform. Is there something I can Google to kind of see what you're talking about?
Platform.
There was one I saw it. Yeah,
The
I
bigger
saw it
plan.
in the plan.
Okay.
It's on our slide. We have it. It's, if you go to the documents we received, it's in there.
Yeah, typically, it would be a combination of a faux rock wall along with a 3-meter jumping platform. So if you think a high dive, but without the springboard, so it'd be a concrete platform with the rock jump is pretty common. If one that we did recently was in Elk City, Oklahoma. They have a renovated outdoor aquatic facility, but if you Google Elk City, Oklahoma Aquatic Center, you could see something similar to what we're talking
This
about here.
picture is in the plan? Is
Yes.
from Elk- Okay.
Mhm.
Which one has been safer, though, I guess? Have there been any issues having the rock as opposed to the diving board?
Yeah, they're both tested, tried, and true.
I appreciate everything you guys are doing, and I'm born and raised here, so I remember TC Cherry. And it's kind of like what the mayor has said, it just kind of fizzled and died out because nothing really happened to it. I guess none of the kids never really thought about having it's like they're surfing and stuff type of area, because I've seen that at other water parks, and it's always seemed to be very, very popular. So
We actually talked through that with everybody at staff. The hard part is one that takes a lot more people to look at, so it's like 3 or 4 people on that, and you're only having one person use it at a time. And so we're always looking for the amount, so like for if you look at a jungle gym versus a slide, how many people can go down a slide versus how many people can be on a jungle gym at one time? Same thing with a water park. How many users can you keep, active at one time versus another? And so that's kind of the definitive factor is it costs more money, big ticket item. You're only getting one person at a time, and then it takes about 3 to 4 staff just to watch.
my last question is kind of going to piggyback on something that the mayor said when he said he was overseas. The lazy river seems like it is very popular everywhere you go, but I could see that being very fun. I guess I don't know if there was like some type of where people were spraying it on
No, it
people.
just went faster. I mean,
God.
it was kind of like a Grizzly River rampage
Yeah.
when the lazy river got wild.
When he said it, you know what I envisioned that someone was actually spraying them with some type of spray
No, the
thing
jets
on the
just
side.
pushed it faster.
That can happen. So, I mean, there's literally endless possibilities. What we show here is an example. It fits within the space. When you actually get into the details of the design, getting spray guns on there or jets, all of that is very much possible. So, yeah, I think.
How much more would that cost, or is it?
I don't know. It might fall within the budget.
Cameron just kind of laughed.
Yeah, comparatively speaking, those additional features are not that great. So to add maybe some play or spray features in and around the lazy river, it's probably a 6-figure number. So, but it could be anywhere from $60,000 to $100,000. We've also done what we call an action river. So it's where it might be similar to what you mentioned, Mayor, where You actually incorporate a wave pool type feature in one length of the river, and sometimes that wave generation system can be in that same range of about $100,000, and then you have one side of the river that, yeah, every 5 or 10 minutes it'll shoot a rolling wave down the river.
Cool. These are great features. It looks like a great vision. We appreciate the hard work that's gone into this plan. I'm glad, Cameron, you've led us to do this vision, and Brent, thank you for your leadership to accomplish this. So.
I'd like to echo that. Thank you, Cameron, and Brent, for always looking at how we can have more fun in Bowling Green, Kentucky, because we need more fun here. So thank you. It's going to be great, and thank you all for your hard work and
It was fun.
and the vision, and it looks phenomenal.
I just want to echo thanks for everybody on this. I know when I talk to our citizens, their parks are some of their favorite things about living and raising a family here, and the fact that you all are looking ahead at, what do we need to do to make sure our parks are a place where, especially on a hot day, that like we had this weekend, where can you go for the whole family and have fun, and when, you have friends and family in town, being able to go someplace for them, and another place for kids to have birthday parties. And I did have a question about the evening programming. Is that for teens, adults, or what were you thinking about in terms of adding in that extra programming?
Yeah, you talking about what we're doing right now? Or
No,
just
like
in general?
just in the plan that talked
Yeah,
about how do
sure.
you add programming.
Yeah. So ever since I was able to have the opportunity to start overseeing the water park, programming is huge, right? So we operate in general from 11 to 7 every day, and we can do that, and it'll make a huge impact. But in my opinion, what we do before we open and then what we do after we close is some of the most important, things we can do for the community. So evening programming can be after-hour special events. The important thing about that, and with the water park overall, is I think it's access. And so $10 for an adult, during normal operating hours, $8 for a child, but then our after-hour special events we typically do for $3. Are we going to make money off that? Maybe not. We might break even. We might not cover costs. But what we do is we allow a family that can't afford $10 a person to still be able to come enjoy the water park for 2 hours. And so those programming opportunities that we can provide are really important for us. And so it's special events. It's the teen nights that we partnered with, Bowling Green Police this year. If anybody didn't see that, we were supposed to have one on the 19th, and about 15 minutes before it started, it just poured down rain. So we decided to move it last minute, but we still had about 175 kids show up. So we let them in, and we let them in for free because they were there, and what were we going to do, right? So we rescheduled it, and then we had 250 the next time. And so those teen nights make a really big impact, and it's 2 city departments partnering to do that. With the Lazy River, I want you guys to think about who that can serve. It's the kids, it's the families, but I even think about us expanding into water aerobics and having our senior population come and walk the Lazy River for exercise. And so there's a lot of things creatively that we can do with these features that are different than just being open and letting people enjoy them. And so they reach a bigger audience. And so we're always creatively thinking about Journey to Neverland Night, Christmas in July. I mean, I have a blast getting to come up with these things, and so does our team. Our team of 60 staff, lifeguards, water park staff that are all teenagers, college students, absolutely love the fact that we do these fun things, and it engages them with the community. And so we're always going to think creatively about ways people can enjoy the water park across a wide range of socioeconomic backgrounds, so that literally every corner of our community can come here, and everybody feels like they have a place. So
Last question. So is this already funds set aside in our next 5-year capital projects plans, or is this additional funds we'll need to add to our capital funds to make this master
Brent
plan?
can back me up on this. As of now, anything in this plan would be for the FY28 budget in that planning process. So nothing as of yet. The only thing we have in the budget this year for the pool, Brent, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but we're painting the pool bottom. So we have a pot of money set aside to be able to just repaint the pool bottom. That's something we've been doing every few years. You guys have probably seen that. And so we have to, hopefully we're going to get something this year that'll last a little bit longer. But that's the only thing budgeted for the pool as of now in terms of projects. So anything from this plan would be in the future moving forward.
Just in terms of capital projects, do we think it'll just be like we do kind of every year with our allotted funds? Or are we gonna have to think through adding more capital funds for this master plan to come?
I think we'd have to look at of course, the phasing, saving up, 2-3 years worth of budget set aside, and then in the third year do something big, something like that. I personally, I think we could do this strategically every couple years, setting aside money, working it out, transfers from the general fund over to aquatics or to the Parks Improvement Fund. Aaron is very skilled at doing that and finding money. So is Katie, and we could tackle this thing that way over a number of years. So. But this is something we could bring back to you if you want to discuss in more detail, like at your January strategic planning session. If you'll want us to, we can, and talk more details and about this first 5 years, what you want to try to accomplish. So that's up to you all.
I think it's important too, if I can, on these items, there is that range. However, we think about the cabanas, we could probably spend less than what's on paper. I want to add too that overall in parks, not just with the water park, but especially the water park, we're constantly looking for grant opportunities. We're constantly looking for sponsorships. That's something that I put together a couple years ago, was a specific sponsorship packet for the water park. We had our first 2 sponsors this year as part of that. That's a branded sponsorship packet, gives businesses a chance to put themselves in front of 70,000 plus people for 4 months. And so I think there's opportunities for us to find those sponsor opportunities for the different projects that are listed in here too, if people want to be a part of it. So,
Mayor, if I could ask one last question. Matt, in your team's opinion, what would be the best return on investment as far as raising revenues? Would it be the lazy river? Would it be the slides? Would it be... Have y'all looked at that?
We looked at, I think, the cabanas, if you can rent, how many we have there, Tanner?
So if you think, I think in the model itself, and again, that's highly conceptual in that way, but if you think about 10 cabanas rented at $100 a day, open through that season and everything, that's $100,000. Now, realistically, you could look at like 50 to 60 grand a year and everything. That'll be the quickest way to return on that investment probably, is just because we're already hearing from stakeholders. I mean, these summers aren't getting any hotter or any cooler, as you said, Matt, and so there's a demand for shade. There's a demand for parents that are coming with a lot of kids, different kinds of families and stuff, and they got all their bags, someplace to put it. That rental cost can obviously change as well and everything, but thinking about whole numbers, you could look at best, $100,000 annually added to revenue that's already being generated.
And not to mention, we're looking at that as longer stays. Mm-hmm. So getting lock boxes, so they're staying longer, Wi-Fi there, so they got their direct Wi-Fi, concessions, so they're eating lunch and a snack. So it's like building upon itself. Mm-hmm. So I feel like that's the biggest bang for your buck. From general people, the lazy river is probably the next best, just because it's going to be a wow factor. The first 5 years you're open with that thing, people are going to flock to it.
If I may, I have a question. First of all, I would like to thank Cameron and Brent. Have friends that always buy season passes, and unfortunately some things were happening there and it wasn't considered very family friendly on a tire, and you all nipped that in the bud immediately. I think it's important we keep this family friendly, and I appreciate you all making that a priority. But looking at these plans, my favorite thing, I love it all, but my favorite thing looking at this is the green space where I see the trees and the grass. It's not a concrete jungle. It looks beautiful. So thank you all for the time and effort you've put into this, and I hope I live long enough to see this completed.
Appreciate that. We're landscape architects first, and so vegetation is key. Mm-hmm. Provides natural shade too.
All right. Further questions? Let's approve this plan. Roll call, please.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Ordinance number BG 2026-14, first reading, non-binding.
Ordinance rezoning real estate. Ordinance rezoning a portion of attractive land containing 2.67 acres from P Public to HB Highway Business located at 1000 Woodhurst Street, presently owned by the Bowling Green Warren County Regional Airport, with Leachman Harry Motors, Inc. as the applicant.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Perigin, second by Commissioner Hill. Start with Mr. Mizel.
City County Planning Commission met on August 6th to take up this item. There's a 7-0 vote in favor of this rezoning of 2.67 acres at 1000 Woodhurst Street, just adjacent to Scottsville Road. Ben Peterson is here with us tonight. Susan Harmon is here with us tonight from the airport and can answer any of your questions on this one.
Thank you, Mr. Mizel. I actually asked to put this on here. One of the reasons, Susan, thank you for being here. Ben, can't see you behind Jack's head, but there you are. Just note that this is going from public to business, industrial, is that what I understand? Business. And so being on the airport, I wanted to make sure that people understood this is, there's a parking lot that's already leased, is that correct, Susan? By Leachman, and then this is going to extend a little bit further into the airport. Can you just kind of give us, the community, a sense of what that land is?
Sir, thank you for having me. Basically, we already lease about 79,000 square foot to Leachman. So this would just be adding another 36,000 square feet. They would be, with the FAA approval, they will be building a building on the property as well. We still have to go through the FAA certifications and everything, but this was our first step, was to get the rezoning. But they already leased the parking lot, and they lease it and put a parking lot there, and it's not anything that takes away from the aviation. It actually gives us, we lease it to them at
So
fair market value.
It's an income for the
Correct,
airport.
correct.
And then
It's a revenue
Is this an
source.
additional income on
Yes,
top
sir.
of this?
Yes, sir.
And does it move the fence line?
It moves it a little bit, but they will pay for all the fence line. They pay for all the infrastructure that they add. So it doesn't cost the airport anything other than it generates more revenue.
Thank you for being here. I know it's a long meeting, Susan. Thank you, Ben, for being here. Commissioners, questions at this time? Okay, none. Roll call, please.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is time for public comments. We're going to be checking. While we're checking, I will tell you when our next meeting is September 1st, 2026, 15 days from now at 4:30 p.m. Mr. Davis. Is Mr. Davis here? If you're here. If not, we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.